we're going to talk about linear functions and slope-intercept form. So anytime we're talking about linear functions, what we want to talk about is we want to first talk about that slope. So the slope is equal to the rise over the run, and it's equal to y2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, where x sub 2 minus x sub 1 does not equal 0. So we don't want to have a 0 in there. Now, slope is, you can also hear the term rate of change. So slope and rate of change are the same thing. Okay? Now, we're going to find the slope here. And so it doesn't matter which coordinate I use as x1, y1, or x2, y2. You just have to pick one and kind of stick with it. So make sure that your order is the same. So if I come here, if I go 7 minus 4, I have to go negative 3 minus negative 2. So 7 minus 4 is 3. Negative 3 minus negative 2, that's going to turn that into a positive 2. I get negative 1. So my slope is negative 3. Now here, I'm going to do the same thing. So my slope, I'm going to pick 1 minus 1 over 3 minus negative 4. So I end up with 0 over 7. So my slope is actually 0. Not 6, 0. Okay, so on this last one, I'm going to do the process the same. So I'm going to go 1 minus 3 over 7 minus 7. I have 4 over 0. I can't divide by 0, which that makes it undefined. Okay, so it's an undefined slope. It's a vertical line. So these are kind of just an example of what type of slope you would have. So this is a positive slope. We're going from left to right. We're rising. Negative slope from left to right. We're falling. So we're going down. A zero slope is a horizontal line. It has, it's a zero slope. And then we have an undefined slope. So that's a vertical line. Now, be very careful if you use the terminology no slope. Okay? The term no slope is very ambiguous. Be careful when you use that because somebody might kind of think of that as being a zero slope, so it's a 0 or nothing, or they might think of it as being undefined, like there is not one. Okay, so just be careful with the terminology no slope. Slope-intercept form. Most of you guys are really familiar with this one. We use this all the time. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope of the line, b is the y-intercept. Okay? So what is the equation of the line given this information? We have our m equals 1/5, y-intercept of 0, negative 3. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go y equals, I'm going to put my slope in, 1/5 x plus my b. So plus negative 3. Negative 3 is my b. I could rewrite this as 1/5 x minus 3. It doesn't really matter. Some of you are going to jump right there. But remember, this 0, 3, what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So my x value has to be 0. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to look at converting. We're going to look at converting from standard form into slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form says isolate your y, get your y by itself. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of my x's. Okay, so I'm going to subtract my 5x to the other side. So I have negative 4y equals negative 5x plus 16. And now I'm going to divide by negative 4 on everything. Okay, so I end up with y equals, so I have negative 5 over negative 4, so that gives me 5 fourths x. 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. So I have y equals 5 fourths x minus 4. Now, I wanted to do this one because a lot of times students have difficulty working with fractions. So I just wanted to kind of give you that opportunity to kind of see it. So it's negative 3/4 x plus 1/2 y equals negative 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is add 3/4. Okay, so now I have 1/2 y equals 3/4 x minus 1. And now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of this fraction. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 1 or 2. And so everything on the right side is going to be multiplied by 2. So y equals, so I have 3/4 times 2. So I'm actually going to reduce it right now. So 2 goes into 4 2 times. So this is 3/2 x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Now, you could have multiplied this out. 3 times 2 is 6, 6/4, and then reduced it. I tend to reduce it as I'm kind of going along. Last thing we're going to talk about is graphing a slope-intercept form. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot my y-intercept. So this +1, I know that's the coordinate 0, 1. So I'm going to go to my y-axis. I'm going to put a dot right on 1 there. And now I'm going to use my slope. Now remember, this is a rational number, so there is an implied 1 under there. So the top number tells me up and down, the bottom number tells me to the right. Even if the negative's in the bottom, I can just move it to the top. It's an equivalent expression. So I'm going to go up to 1, 2 over 1, and I can continue to do that and get my other points. And then I'm just going to connect my points there. And there's my graph. So that's going over linear functions and slope-intercept form.